Good day, dear colleagues. Today I would like to tell you about the NICA Accelerator Collider Complex, which is currently under construction at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research. The name NICA stands for the English Nucleotron-Based Ion Collider Facility. The project is being realized by the international intergovernmental organization called the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, bringing together the efforts of 18 member states of our institute, as well as 6 associate member states. Furthermore, the project has been joined by many other countries who are not member states of the institute. The project commenced in 2009. It was authorized by the highest body of our institute, the Committee of Plenipotentiaries of JINR, as part of a 7-year roadmap for the development of the institute between 2009 and 2016. In 2016, the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research signed an agreement with the Russian Federation about Russia's participation in the construction of the NICA complex, according to which the beginning of operation of the collider, which will be the main experimental facility, has been scheduled for the year 2020. In 2017, upon the initiative of the European member states of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, the project was included into the redrafted roadmap of the European Strategy Forum on Research Infrastructures, alongside such projects as the German FAIR or FAIR, along with the projects in the US and at CERN. More detailed information can be found on the website of the project. Like any other serious scientific project, NICA has a long history. It started with the legendary facility of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, one of the first facilities of our institute, the synchrophasotron, on which around 50% of discoveries in nuclear physics were made in the Soviet Union. One of the greatest achievements of the accelerator is that, although it was constructed in the late 60s and designed for proton acceleration, it was rebuilt with the purpose of the acceleration of heavier ions. In 1970, the so-called cumulative effect was discovered at the accelerator, and this discovery laid the foundation of a new school in physics, which the then director of our laboratory, A.M. Bolden, called relativistic nuclear physics. A number of scientists took part in the creation of the synchrophasotron, to which I think a separate lecture should be dedicated. The project was led by a member of the Academy of Science, V.I. Wechsler, the discoverer of the phase stability principle, which is the basis of all modern accelerators. In the following years, the development of relativistic nuclear physics was due to the creation of more modern facilities. The synchrophasotron provided beams of the quality required for experiments. However, the cost of operation and the quality of the beams did not always meet the needs of the laboratory. In the late 70s, the so-called project of the accelerating complex of heavy ions was developed with the intention to modernize the laboratory complex of high-energy physics. The goal was, particularly, to further develop the acceleration of heavy ions in the relativistic area. The initial goals of the project weren't achieved. Nevertheless, during its continuation, the first superconducting heavy ion synchrotron in the world was created and named nucleotron. In 1993, the first run was performed on this accelerator, which started a new epoch of the heavy ion acceleration at our institute. As a matter of fact, the leading role of this accelerator is reflected in the name of the new NICA complex. The NICA complex has, as with any facility in the mega-science class, a number of goals and objectives. Furthermore, no modern accelerator operates without a program of fundamental research. During the continuation of the program of fundamental research, which is traditional for our laboratory, the motivation for the development of the NICA project came about. Apart from the research in the area of relativistic nuclear physics, the fundamental research program at the NICA complex includes the research in the area of spin physics. One of the youngest laboratories of our institute, the Laboratory of Radiation Biology, one of the world's leaders in this research area, plans to use the future NICA complex as its base facility. Besides the fundamental research program, no modern accelerator complex is possible without a program of applied research. The NICA complex delivers beams of heavy ions and polarized particles in a very broad spectrum of energy and parameters. These beams are highly demanded in various fields of science and engineering, especially in the development of new technologies, for instance, in the recycling of fuel from nuclear plants, as well as new ways of energy production. The application area of the beams include research in radiation medicine, material science, and radiation resistance of the microcircuits used in spacecraft. The third and one of the most essential components in the NICA project is its education program. The program is one of the main undertakings of the Institute. Because of the long lead time required for the implementation of the project, the modern technologies used on it, and the time required for the development of new education programs, NICA is a good basis for research and writing of dissertations of different levels, such as bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and postdoctoral degrees, not only for students from the Russian Federation, but also for students from the member countries of the Institute. If we summarize the structure of the NICA complex, one can assume by its name that it only contains a collider, but that is not true. In fact, NICA includes a number of particle accelerators which deliver the beams to their users. It also has a collection of detection equipment, which is being used in the experiment on colliding beams on fixed targets. Moreover, NICA comprises of new buildings, which are being constructed for the project called Developing Infrastructure. It has plants for the production of superconducting magnets, as well as the elements of the detectors. As part of the project, there are plans to create a NICA Innovation Center.